Have you ever wondered what it really takes to be the chosen one? We've all seen the epic stories of heroes destined for greatness, but what about the hidden struggles they face? The pressure, the doubts, and the sacrifices they make. Are we ever shown the full picture? Today we're diving deep into the untold truth behind being the chosen one, and how these lessons can apply to each of us in our everyday lives. If you're ready to discover the challenges, the growth, and the real cost of fulfilling a grand destiny, stick around. You don't want to miss this. The weight of responsibility. The weight of responsibility that comes with being a chosen one is immeasurable. It's easy to imagine that being chosen for a great destiny would come with power, privilege, and admiration. But the reality is far more complex. Every action, every decision a chosen one makes carries consequences that reach far beyond their immediate surroundings. The pressure is unrelenting because, unlike ordinary individuals, their choices have the potential to shape the world in profound ways. When someone is chosen for a particular destiny, it's often because they are believed to have the qualities necessary to fulfill a greater purpose. This purpose may involve saving lives, changing societies, or altering the course of history itself. But such monumental tasks come with a price. The burden of responsibility is so immense that even the smallest mistake can lead to catastrophic consequences. What may seem like an innocent misstep to the untrained eye could end up costing lives, disrupting communities, or even leading to irreversible changes in the world. Unlike most people, who can afford to make mistakes and learn from them without causing too much harm, the chosen one is constantly aware that their errors can lead to a domino effect, influencing the lives of others in ways they never intended. This sense of responsibility is overwhelming, and it often feels like there is no room for error. While others can retreat into the safety of anonymity, the chosen one's every move is scrutinized by those who depend on them. One of the hardest aspects of this responsibility is that it's rarely something the chosen one asks for. They are thrust into this role, often without understanding the full weight of what it will mean. The sense of duty is thrust upon them, and with it comes an expectation that they will not fail. This unrelenting pressure can lead to feelings of doubt and fear. How can anyone, no matter how capable, handle the weight of an entire world on their shoulders? The reality is that even the most prepared among us can buckle under such immense pressure. The burden of responsibility extends beyond the individual chosen one. It often involves the lives of those around them. They become the focal point for the hopes, dreams, and survival of countless people. This can create a sense of loneliness and isolation, as the chosen one is forced to shoulder not just their own burdens, but those of everyone who depends on them. Relationships can be strained, as friends and family may not understand the magnitude of the role they play. The chosen one becomes separated, unable to share their struggles with anyone who truly understands. Furthermore, the weight of responsibility often leads to self-doubt. How can someone be expected to handle such a monumental task without making mistakes? How can they be sure that their actions are truly the right ones? The chosen one constantly questions their abilities, fearing that they will not be able to live up to the expectations placed upon them. This self-doubt is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of the immense pressure they feel. When every decision could have life-altering consequences, it's easy to see why doubt creeps in. Despite these challenges, the chosen one must continue. The world does not stop to wait for them to figure it out. Their responsibilities never ease, and the stakes continue to rise. They must find a way to live with the weight of responsibility, to carry it without letting it crush them. And sometimes that means making the difficult choice to push forward, even when the road seems impossible. In the end, being a chosen one is not about the glory or recognition that many imagine. It's about the quiet, relentless drive to fulfill a purpose that is far bigger than oneself. It's about carrying the weight of responsibility for the greater good, knowing that every choice they make will have consequences that ripple through the lives of others. It is a burden that must be carried alone, but it is also the very thing that defines what it means to be chosen. Isolation and loneliness. Isolation and loneliness are some of the most profound and often overlooked aspects of being a chosen one. While society often views the chosen one as a figure of power, respect, and admiration, few understand the emotional and psychological toll that comes with the role. The journey of a chosen one is often solitary, marked by a deep sense of disconnection from others, no matter how many people may surround them. The responsibilities they carry create a barrier, one that is difficult to cross, leaving the chosen one feeling more isolated than ever. At the core of this isolation is the realization that the path the chosen one walks is unlike any other. Their destiny is unique, and the weight of it creates a chasm between them and the people around them. Friends, family, and even allies may try to support them, but the chosen one knows that no one can truly understand the burden they bear. While those around them may offer well-meaning advice or encouragement, it often falls short because they cannot grasp the full magnitude of what the chosen one faces. This can lead to a deep sense of being misunderstood, leaving the chosen one feeling like an outsider, even in the presence of others. This feeling of isolation can be exacerbated by the expectations placed upon the chosen one. As they rise to face greater challenges and fulfill their destiny, those around them begin to see them less as a person and more as a symbol, a figurehead for the hopes and dreams of others. The closer they get to their goal, the further they seem to drift from personal connections. Their role becomes all-consuming, and they begin to lose touch with their own humanity. They no longer have the freedom to express vulnerability or to show weakness. They must always appear strong, confident, and capable, even when they are struggling internally. The loneliness of being a chosen one is not just about being physically alone. It is the emotional and psychological distance that forms between them and the world. They cannot share their true thoughts and fears with those around them because doing so would expose their doubts, fears, and weaknesses. The chosen one becomes a fortress, keeping others at arm's length in an effort to protect themselves and their mission. In doing so, they often find themselves unable to connect with others in a meaningful way. Relationships are strained, and friendships fade away, as the chosen one is increasingly consumed by their responsibilities. Moreover, the loneliness is compounded by the knowledge that they cannot rely on others to understand the decisions they must make. The chosen one is often forced to make choices that are in the best interest of the greater good, even if they come at a personal cost. These decisions can be heart-wrenching, and while the chosen one may wish to confide in someone, they know that no one can fully comprehend the sacrifice required. The burden of carrying such decisions alone can feel like a crushing weight, amplifying the sense of loneliness. There is also the fear that being too close to others might endanger them. The chosen one often fears for the safety of those they care about, knowing that their enemies or forces aligned against them could target their loved ones to get to them. This fear causes them to distance themselves even further, choosing to protect others by keeping them at a safe distance. As a result, the chosen one finds themselves without the emotional support that most people rely on during difficult times. Instead of leaning on others for comfort, they must rely on their own inner strength, which can be exhausting and isolating. The isolation is also mental and emotional. When every decision feels like it could have world-altering consequences, the weight of those thoughts can become overwhelming. The chosen one is constantly in a state of alertness, weighing every action and word, knowing that there is no room for error. This constant vigilance can prevent them from finding peace or solace, as they are always thinking about the next challenge, the next step in their journey. In turn, this makes it even harder for them to connect with others who are living in a world without such high stakes. Ultimately, the isolation and loneliness that come with being a chosen one are not just about being physically alone, but about carrying a burden that few can understand. The chosen one is not only separated by their unique role, but by the constant pressure to keep moving forward, to fulfill their destiny, even if it means leaving personal connections behind. It's a painful and often unseen side of their journey, one that leaves them longing for companionship and understanding, but knowing that their path must be walked alone. The cost of sacrifice. The cost of sacrifice is one of the most painful and unavoidable aspects of being a chosen one. It's easy to romanticize the idea of destiny, to envision a life filled with purpose and honor. But the reality is that every step along this path demands a trade-off. Being chosen for something greater means giving up parts of yourself, sometimes big, sometimes small, that others take for granted. It's a price that is paid, not just in time or effort, but in emotions, relationships, and even one's identity. Sacrifice is not always an obvious or physical loss. Sometimes it's the small things, the personal dreams that are shelved because there simply isn't time for them. The chosen one often finds themselves in a position where their own desires and passions are secondary to the mission at hand. While others have the luxury of pursuing their own interests, the chosen one must always prioritize their larger purpose, even if it means putting their own happiness on hold. The weight of this constant sacrifice can chip away at the sense of self, making it difficult to remember who you were before the responsibility consumed your life. One of the most heartbreaking sacrifices involves relationships. Friends, family, and loved ones may begin to fade into the background as the chosen one's journey takes center stage. This is not always a conscious decision. It's simply the reality of dedicating oneself to something much bigger than any individual connection. The chosen one's mission demands their full attention, and the relationships that once brought comfort and joy now feel like distractions. The loneliness that accompanies this sacrifice is profound. Not only does the chosen one feel distanced from those they care about, but they also begin to feel disconnected from the very concept of a normal life. The bonds they once cherished may become strained as they are forced to make difficult choices for the greater good, choices that others may not fully understand or support. Moreover, the chosen one must often give up personal freedom. The moment they accept their destiny, they relinquish the right to choose for themselves. Every move, every decision is dictated by the demands of their role. The chosen one no longer has the luxury of making decisions based solely on their own desires or needs. Instead, their every action is guided by the purpose they were chosen to fulfill. This loss of autonomy can feel suffocating, as the chosen one is forced to live within the confines of their destiny, unable to break free from the path they must walk. The sacrifice extends to one's peace of mind. The constant pressure to succeed, to fulfill expectations, and to meet the needs of others can erode the chosen one's mental well-being. The weight of responsibility can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and a constant state of stress. They become so focused on the task at hand that they lose sight of their own mental health, pushing themselves to the brink without considering the toll it takes. The sacrifices made in the name of duty can leave deep scars, both physically and emotionally. Perhaps the most devastating sacrifice is the loss of identity. The chosen one can become so consumed by their mission that they begin to lose themselves in the process. Their every thought and action revolves around the greater cause, and over time, the person they once were, their hobbies, their dreams, their desires, becomes a distant memory. They may start to question who they are outside of their role as the chosen one. Are they still the same person they were before, or have they become nothing more than a tool to achieve a greater purpose? This existential crisis is a common and painful experience for many chosen ones, as they are forced to reconcile the person they used to be with the person they are becoming. The physical toll of sacrifice can also be profound. The The journey of a chosen one is often fraught with danger, struggle, and hardship. While others live relatively simple lives, the chosen one faces constant challenges that take a physical toll on their body. Whether it's long hours of training, constant battles, or pushing themselves beyond their limits, the chosen one sacrifices their physical well-being in the pursuit of their mission. This can lead to exhaustion, injury, or even death as the body is pushed to the edge time and time again in the name of fulfilling their destiny. Ultimately, the cost of sacrifice is the price of greatness. The chosen one must give up so much to fulfill their role, and while the rewards may be immense, they come at a steep personal cost. The emotional, mental, and physical tolls of sacrifice are often invisible to the outside world, making it difficult for others to understand just how much the chosen one has given up. But in the end, the greatest sacrifice the chosen one makes is the loss of their own sense of self, their identity, their happiness, and the life they might have had, all in service of a greater purpose. Doubts and insecurities. Doubts and insecurities are perhaps the most human aspect of being a chosen one. On the surface, the chosen one might appear as a figure of strength, purpose, and unwavering resolve, but beneath that exterior lies a torrent of self-doubt and uncertainty. Despite being chosen for a great mission, no one, not even the most capable, is immune to the fears and insecurities that come with such a monumental responsibility. One of the greatest sources of doubt comes from the pressure to live up to the expectations placed upon them. From the moment the chosen one accepts their fate, they are burdened with the belief that they are the only one who can fulfill their role, that no one else is capable of carrying the weight of the task at hand. This can be an incredibly isolating experience because it means that the chosen one cannot rely on others for help in the same way others might. But with this belief in their unique ability comes a crippling fear. What if they fail? What if they aren't enough? The weight of such responsibility leads to constant self-questioning. The chosen one constantly measures their own worth against the massive expectations placed on them, and the fear of falling short becomes a constant companion. Imposter syndrome is a common battle for the chosen one. Even when they are clearly capable and equipped for the task, they can't shake the feeling that they don't belong in their position. They may wonder if they truly have what it takes, or if they are simply pretending, waiting for the moment when everyone else realizes they aren't as special as they were believed to be. This fear can be paralyzing. The chosen one may second-guess their decisions, afraid that any mistake will expose them as a fraud. The higher they rise, the harder they fall, and the more they fear being unmasked as someone unworthy of their destiny. Another source of doubt stems from the uncertainty of the future. The chosen one is often tasked with making decisions that could alter the course of history, yet no one knows what the future holds. Even the most well-intentioned plans can go awry, and the fear of making the wrong decision looms large. Every action taken by the chosen one is met with the fear that it could be the wrong one, setting them on a path that leads to disaster. The weight of these choices can make them question their judgment and their ability to navigate the unknown. Insecurity also arises from the fear of failure, not just for themselves, but for others. The chosen one often feels that their success or failure is tied to the well-being of many others. If they succeed, countless people may benefit, but if they fail, the consequences could be dire. This fear of letting others down can lead to a constant state of anxiety. The chosen one might feel that they are not worthy of the faith and hope placed in them, or worse, that they will fail those who depend on them. This fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, feeding into the insecurity and doubt that already consumes them. The chosen one is also haunted by the thought of being alone in their journey. They might look around and see others who are carefree, unburdened by the responsibilities they carry. While others can afford to live simple, ordinary lives, the chosen one is constantly aware of the weight of their destiny. This sense of isolation makes it harder to relate to others and increases their insecurity. They may wonder if anyone else can truly understand what they're going through, or if they are the only ones who feel this crushing weight. At the heart of all these doubts is the question of worthiness. The chosen one often asks themselves, "Am I truly the right person for this?" In the face of such great responsibility, it's hard not to feel like they are an imposter. There is a constant battle between wanting to believe in their own strength and feeling that they will never live up to the expectations. This internal conflict is exhausting and can lead to periods of deep despair. The fear of not being enough, of failing the very mission they were chosen to complete, can haunt them at every turn. Despite all of this, doubts and insecurities are not signs of weakness, but rather a natural part of the human experience. The chosen one, like everyone else, is vulnerable to fear and uncertainty. It is through confronting these doubts head-on that they learn to find strength, resilience, and purpose. By questioning their abilities, the chosen one is forced to grow, adapt, and push through their fears. It's in these moments of self-doubt that they often find the courage to move forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. In the end, the doubts and insecurities that accompany being a chosen one are not a weakness, but a reminder of their humanity. It is not about being perfect or flawless, but about continuing to move forward, even in the face of uncertainty. It is through embracing these fears that the chosen one ultimately discovers their true strength and becomes the person they were meant to be. Lessons for everyone. While the journey of a chosen one is filled with unique challenges and burdens, the lessons they learn can offer valuable insights for everyone, regardless of their own paths or destinies. These lessons, born from the weight of responsibility, isolation, sacrifice, and self-doubt, resonate deeply with anyone who has ever faced a daunting challenge or wondered about their place in the world. In the end, the experience of the chosen one teaches us that greatness isn't always about fulfilling a grand destiny, but about how we navigate life's struggles and learn to grow from them. One of the most significant lessons is the importance of resilience. The chosen one is often forced to endure setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But the ability to bounce back from these challenges is what ultimately shapes their journey. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties or pretending they don't exist. It's about embracing the struggle and finding strength in adversity. This is a lesson that applies to all of us. Life is filled with obstacles, some big, some small, but the ability to keep moving forward, even when the road is unclear or the outcome uncertain, is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Resilience is built through perseverance, and the chosen one's journey teaches us that no matter how many times we fall, we always have the power to rise again. Another lesson is the value of self-reflection and self-awareness. The chosen one, in their quest to fulfill their destiny, is often forced to look inward to question their own motives, abilities, and fears. This self-reflection is crucial in helping them grow, learn from their mistakes, and adapt to the challenges they face. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life, to push forward without ever taking the time to pause and reflect. But true growth comes from understanding ourselves, from confronting our doubts and insecurities, and from realizing that we are constantly evolving. The chosen one's journey teaches us that self-awareness is not just a tool for personal growth. It's an essential part of becoming the person we're meant to be. The chosen one also learns the importance of making difficult choices, even when those choices come with significant personal costs. Every decision made by the chosen one has far-reaching consequences, and sometimes they must choose between the greater good and their own desires or well-being. This difficult balancing act teaches the value of sacrifice, not in the sense of giving up what is trivial, but in understanding that growth often requires letting go of something dear. It's a lesson that applies to anyone who has ever had to make hard choices in life, whether it's in relationships, career, or personal aspirations. We all face moments when we must choose between the comfort of the present and the potential of the future. The Chosen One's experience reminds us that the right choice is often the hardest one, but it's the one that leads to the most growth. Another valuable lesson is the power of community and connection. Although the Chosen One may feel isolated and alone in their journey, the reality is that no one achieves greatness entirely on their own. Even the most powerful individuals rely on the support of others, whether it's through mentorship, collaboration, or encouragement. The Chosen One learns, often the hard way, that they cannot carry their burden alone, and that seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. This is a crucial lesson for all of us. Whether we're pursuing personal goals or navigating challenges, we don't have to go through it alone. The strength of a community, the support of those who understand and believe in us, can make all the difference. No one is an island, and sometimes the most important step toward success is learning to lean on others when needed. Finally, the Chosen One's journey teaches us about the impermanence of life and the need to embrace change. Nothing stays the same forever, and even the greatest of destinies must eventually come to an end. The Chosen One must learn to let go of the past, to accept that their journey is a chapter in a much larger story, and that the future is uncertain. This lesson about the inevitability of change applies to everyone. Life is constantly evolving, and holding on to old patterns or fears can prevent us from embracing new opportunities. The Chosen One's experience shows us that change, though often difficult and uncomfortable, is a necessary part of growth. By learning to adapt, to accept the unknown, and to release the past, we can move forward with confidence and clarity. In the end, the story of the Chosen One is not just about fulfilling a grand destiny. It's about the journey they undertake, the lessons they learn along the way, and the strength they gain through their struggles. These lessons are universal, offering insights that can help all of us navigate our own challenges, pursue our goals, and become the people we are meant to be. The Chosen One's path may be extraordinary, but the lessons they learn are deeply grounded in the experiences we all share. Whether we're chosen for a great purpose or simply striving to live our best lives, these lessons can guide us toward growth, resilience, and fulfillment. So, what can we learn from the Chosen One's journey? Resilience, self-awareness, sacrifice, community, and embracing change. These are the lessons that can help us grow and thrive in our own lives. But here's the thing, if you want more insights like this, if you want to keep learning from these powerful stories and apply them to your journey, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Don't just sit there thinking about it. Make it happen. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next video. I'm here to help you get to that next level, and being subscribed is the first step. Go ahead, hit the bell too so you don't miss a thing. Let's grow together. And hey, don't forget to like and share if this resonated with you. You're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.